So old-fashioned.
Can we just stop?
Oh, sorry. My tissue's all over your floor.
Oh, that's right.
All right, get the other side. Okay. Smile for the camera. 3, 2. Hey everybody, it's Coach Kathi and Coach Kate, and we are back with part 7 of our 7-part series, stemming from the book that Kate authored called Revolutionary Weight Loss and How to Lose the Weight for Good, which has really nothing to do with a diet per se or meal plan, but all the different ways the way our body operates and works has an effect on whether or not we release weight. And we say release weight because we don't want to lose it, because when you lose something, you go find it, and we don't want to do that. So this part that we're talking about today is exercise. And it comes at a very opportune time after this year that we've all had, where exercise has literally been turned upside down on its head. So what you say in the book, and I'll let you speak to it, and then I'll take it into the things that I've learned, which quite honestly have been pretty profound this past year. But they marry up with what you say, which is, most importantly,
that you find something that you really enjoy doing and do it often. It's
right.
Super simple, but I just feel like that works, especially because most of the people that I'm working with are struggling with some serious health issues, whether it's migraine headaches or digestive issues. And, yes, they want to lose weight, but we have to figure out what's going on and why they're having these issues first, and, uncover the root causes or the healing opportunities. And, exercise is really important, obviously, for so many reasons, which I'm sure we're going to talk about today. But if you hate what you're doing, whether it's, we're talking about exercise or work or anything, if you hate what you're doing, it's pure torture. It's just not a sustainable strategy, first of all.
Correct.
But secondly, with exercise, especially, if you are absolutely hating, let's just use the running for an example, since I hate running, but you decide to go ahead and torture yourself and run all the time, you're actually creating more problems for yourself, because you are creating a stress response in the body. And so all of that good that you think you're doing with the running is just getting kind of canceled out by the stress response and the added cortisol.
Right. Which then holds on to belly fat.
Yep. So I think that it's most important to find, and everyone can find something that they enjoy.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
As simple as this theory is, as simple as exercise can be. So there's 2 worlds. There's pre-pandemic and there's post-pandemic. And I just wrote a blog about this a couple days ago. It's on my website, coachingwithkathi.com. And it really is a compilation of everything that I've learned as a fitness trainer, which is why I'm dressed like this. I just came from training outside in New Jersey in February in the snow, which we've been doing every single day since actually last June. And the weather hasn't stopped us. What I've learned is, if we would have talked about this a year ago, I never ever would have believed it. I would have said, you were crazy, that I'd be training people outside every day through winter. But the body is a highly adaptable organism. And same thing with the reasons for changing up exercises. As you adapt, you need to keep it fresh and change things. As we work out in what was summer, then became fall, then became winter, which we said multiple times, we're gonna quit. We never quit. We continued to go, because as these clients showed up, we adapted to the new weather and then adapted again. And being outside in snow has left me with an incredibly enormous change in perspective. So prior to this, working in a studio, working in gyms, our mindset for everything is go, heavier, do. And there's nothing wrong with being on a plan and a program. I was powerlifting, and I spent many years powerlifting. I loved it. I still love being involved in the sport. And it required very heavy weight over the course of time. And it was a fantastic program. What I've learned that if you balance whatever you're doing with nature, you can increase the love of what you're doing and the healing of your body in incredible ways. And because I always focused everything on inside and, just specifically program based, hit the weights, I never had an experience with adding in, except for some walks outside, using nature for healing. So now I've been training people in the pandemic outside all the time and doing the research as to why there are so many benefits. How are they getting stronger and healing, and showing up in a different way in regard to mindset, personality, relaxation, even through exercise. And there are multiple articles from Yale and Harvard. It is called, from an article from Yale Environment 360, Echo Psychology, How Immersion in Nature Benefits Your Health. And what all these articles say are similar in nature, where if you get in a minimum of 120 minutes a week in some form of the outdoors, and it's not about, it's about being in parks and being in something a little more than potentially walking around your neighborhood. If you can get to a park, which really there's so many amazing places locally to so many, even in cities that you wouldn't even know existed unless you get outside of your comfort zone and try them. Of course, it has to be safe. And get yourself outside for 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day till you hit your 120. There's a healing going on inside the system. And this is something that I've watched happen over the last 9 months to a year with the clients that I've been training outside, who are getting stronger, whose bodies are changing, but they're showing up differently. So many of you watch and follow Freddie in Coach Kathi, the private group, or Coach Kathi, the Fit Spirit business page for Facebook. I post videos 4 days a week. And we had a major breakthrough on Thursday because we had a very lovingly contentious conversation. And it always works out great with him. He's one of the best. And so if I'm a coach and my mindset is here and my client is here and has only ever known one way and got to here, but can't see past this, I had to ask him to surrender to what I know that he doesn't know, he doesn't even know, which is the information, the feeling, the process that goes between here and here. And we've been working outside every day since September 3rd. Somewhere in February, when it started to really come down with snow, we moved it to my garage. And that's where I had a lot of my learning. So what we've been talking about is exercise out in nature isn't exercise. I call it environmental training. It's more of an experience than exercise. So we've been training in my garage, and there's been this slowly creeping in, we've been calling it a blah factor. And it can be some form of depression because it's winter and we're sick of the snow, and anybody who's been confined to home in this pandemic may feel trapped beyond trapped, and then you think you're going to get some time out. Maybe we haven't had a vacation in 3 years, and then it snows some more. So we've been working out in the garage, and when I'm training another client in the park, we've been talking about it, and the word I use is sauce. There's a sauce to the environment that makes the experience of exercise completely different. So we had this conversation about the blahs and how we show up for these workouts, because mindset is everything. And if your mindset is blah, so is your workout. You'll get through them, but you won't get through them with the same skip in your step, because you probably don't even want to be there. So moving and doing, back to the simple formula as I kind of wrap this around, moving and doing something you love is crucial to success. And what I want to really tell you is that wherever you are right now is okay. If you've been on the sofa for 9 months because you were in fear and anxiety, it's okay. There's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of getting started. So if that means, today or tomorrow you dress up as I am in many, many layers to train outside, and you put a hat on and you go for a walk around the block, and that's all you do, that's okay.
It counts.
It counts.
Yes.
And we used to be of the mindset where if you didn't race from work to the studio or the gym and race through your workout, which increased cortisol physically upon or on top of the day of stress that increased cortisol mentally, perhaps even, and more so if you were a laborer physically, then you're living in high cortisol. And if you hate what you were doing in exercise, which is supposed to release serotonin and feel good endorphins, but you hated it on top of it, now you're living in a constant cortisol state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your treadmill of life is a constant high cortisol, and that will retain belly fat.
That alone will prevent your weight loss. You can eat perfectly and you can sleep perfectly and all of the other things. But if you're stressing yourself out with extra exercise, I love this conversation because I work with so many people who are in that cortisol, that constant cortisol state. And most of them are doing the, intense exercise. And most of them, my conversation with them is like, well, I'm not doing enough and I need to do more. And that they're beating themselves up.
Right. But who says, right?
Right. But when you tell them, or when I tell them the science, and also that I want them to slow down, they look at me like I have 4 heads.
Right.
But
because they're comparing to their past. It makes
a
difference. And it's really hard to grasp that going slower may be better.
Yeah.
So for X amount of months, I worked with one client with anxiety, and we were theorizing, go with me on my language, that our way of resistance training was better for her system. But she mentally battled her past and her ability to create or to compete in triathlons and run, swim, go. But so at some point, this may not feel like it's enough, but it was working, and I, surrender to a new way, because if all we ever knew was go hard, and that's what society told us to be true in order to have success, then we're taking out the personal effect of it all.
Right.
And so this way that we've been working in, and then I came across research through NASM that actually showed that to reduce anxiety, it is best to do low intensity strength training. So that's exactly what we've been doing. And when we get out there with weights that were once 2s and 4s, and 10s are flying in a bicep curl, or 15s are flying in a chest press, and they're easier, it means there has been a buildup of strength in this course of time. And so it's a new way. It's understanding that there were so many modalities of exercising, and everybody tried to get you to believe this way and that way is best and this way is best for all, but it's not. There's something that works for everyone. So if we lost 70% of the population to exercise in the pandemic because they couldn't keep up with X of the past, then we've wasted a year not doing something, which can be, as we're here to tell you, anything.
Yeah, go stretch in your living room, or stretch in your bedroom when you get up in the morning.
15 minutes a day.
Like you said, go for a walk around the block.
Walk around the block.
Do laps in your kitchen or it doesn't matter what it is.
Just
There's so many
get
options,
active.
obviously, but
right.
That's also part of the problem.
Right. So while food, of course, as we know,
right.
And that's just it. So food, as we know, is 90% of it, 80% of it, debatable on a lot of it, and it's not just about meal plans and eating smart to lose weight, because my smart isn't Kate's smart. They're totally different smarts, and we've learned that, and we've also spent this year being very introspective, going in about everything we're doing. And we talk about this all the time, slowing down and paying attention to how these foods feel in our body. Do they make us hungrier? Do they make us feel more full? Do they satiate? Are they getting us through the workout? Do we feel deprived and angry because we're not eating as much as we'd like to? I mean, all that can be addressed, and Kate does metabolic assessments for clients, which teaches you, including me, number type 2A, parasympathetic dominant here, and it teaches you based on a a whole bunch of questions. What works best for your body, for you personally? And that's what it comes down to. So if 70% of you have not been exercising because of a pandemic and the inability to meet up with where you were, don't waste one more day. Do anything.
Yeah.
Everything counts. So what if we lowered the bar to include everything? What if there was no bar and you set it for yourself? What if 15 minutes of stretching a day was that much more than you were doing, which is going to have benefits on the body? What if a walk around the block every day is a start to 2 laps around the block, and then eventually out in the parks when it gets nicer, if that's an issue for you? Everything is game. Everything counts, and everything will benefit you in the long run.
Absolutely.
And again, all these articles, which I can post, I'll post in the description so that you can read them, are now back up everything I have learned in the process of allowing to happen. When I first got out there to train people who were calling for it because they didn't want to be inside and or necessarily masked, we were exercising outside, but we couldn't help but notice the running water in this park that we met in. We couldn't help but notice the geese or the ducks as they flew overhead. Do ducks fly? They do,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. As they fly overhead. I'm learning a lot about nature. And the birds that would be outside in the freezing cold, or the ducks literally in an ice pond with one open space. And the pictures, the sounds, the sights are so magnificent that, as my client, after we had this showdown, will say, like, it's added a sauce to the workout. So when I said to someone who's changing physically, but also this is a very change in his mental personality, and he's gained and lost significant amounts of weight 4 times in his life. We're not looking to lose weight. We're looking for a transformation. Weight loss isn't success if you don't change your psyche, if you don't learn, if you don't grow, and if you don't allow your mindset, which I got from your article, to allow for growth mode mindset. There's growth mode and there was stuck mode, for lack of a better term.
Yes, that's a good term.
If you're stuck and not willing to grow or open, you can't possibly make changes. But if you are willing to say, maybe I don't know it all, and maybe a new way is an okay way, then you're opening yourself up to endless possibilities. So we finished today with my question, which I'm going to ask him every single time, because on Thursday we were talking about, give me something you're grateful for. You're, X amount of pounds down. Does it feel better to pick up your daughter? No. I said, does it feel good to pick up your daughter? No. Does it feel good to walk differently? No. It sucks. So when you're doing that with me, ooh, you're in for it, because then I rephrased it, and it wasn't, he was being very honest. And what it did was open up my brain that I didn't know, to the fact that some people have never learned or been taught on how to think differently. So when I met him here, and I'm here, I have to honor the process that this is as far as he's ever come. And then he has to be willing to go with me and trust in the break open so that a breakthrough can happen, which I now look back to Thursday and see it was either going to be a breakup or a breakthrough. And I now honor the fact that it was an enormous breakthrough, because this time last year was the month that led to the sofa, that led to the Doritos, that led to a 65-pound weight gain.
Wow.
So the way I was seeing it, to our point here, was I was looking at this month of training, getting more blah energy from him as a way down. But what I didn't see till I saw it was this has been tremendous success, because to this point, he has been working through an entire month of blah, which is tremendously successful and a huge win, because this time last year, this path, he would have lost. So even if it wasn't maximum mental or physical energy, It was movement in the right direction. And today was a phenomenal workout. And today we're 2 pounds away from crossing a big line. And today was different because that real, heartfelt conversation enabled a breakthrough to recognize that whatever we're doing is movement, not just moving, but movement in the right direction.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a great way to talk about it. This isn't about moving in the right direction.
Right.
That's what we've always talked about, but movement in the right direction. And we're giving you permission to do whatever you want.
Dance parties in the kitchen.
Dance parties in the kitchen. Put on the music.
Yeah.
Just do
just
something.
Move your body.
Right, just move your body.
Yeah.
And then comment below if A, this helps, B, it changes your mindset, and C, how you choose to move. What is your choice of movement?
That's good, because so many people have ideas. Again, what you don't know that you don't know that you don't know. So yeah, tell us. I want new ideas.
And you have to know, this is a very important point. Not one comment or not one thing you say is your way will be wrong.
That's right.
Everyone who responds with a comment on how they're moving is right. It's movement in your direction for a better, healthier you. So strongly recommending getting outside in nature, strongly recommending lowering your bar, strongly recommending be okay with wherever you are today, strongly recommending you rid yourself of the past and whatever it was you once did or who you once were, because what you are doing right now to support your health is going to be absolutely perfect for where you are today. So we're setting you free.
Yeah.
We're setting us free. And, we're slowing down to pay attention, which is what this pandemic has allowed us the opportunity to do. Slow down to pay attention. And I believe strongly, and I'm very passionate about this, that the new way will be a cortisol lowering path, with between functional medicine really on the upswing, and leaving, ways that didn't work because they didn't put us in an optimal state of health. They put us in a range, but really working through functional medicine ways, through listening to your body, through slowing down, and for really just marrying whatever you're doing with more outdoors. We're on a different path to a whole new way for success and health, so that when you do hit the weights, you're increasing cortisol for a moment, because it's naturally going to do that, because
you want it to do that.
You want it to do
right.
that, and then you're going to go into repair, and getting your body back will be a better, smarter way. And then the feel-good hormones will actually have way more play in your body than just trying to neutralize all the cortisol, but really put you in a positive balance for feel-good hormones.
Yep.
So,
love it.
Yeah. So I really think I know it was a lot, but there's something for everyone. This should be motivating and exciting, because wherever you are is perfect, and wherever you're going, whatever you do, is going to be the best possible way for you to start. So for more on the daily, give you some links. I'll put them in the description below. So will Kate for her channel, so that you can find us both. We'll add them all here. Follow us. We're going down a new path. We have a lot more to discuss. This wraps up this 7-part series. Again, we'll have a link to Kate's book, which you can download for free. And this book has helped me tremendously, along with a lot of other people in Kate's life, because it's a deeper dive. It has nothing to do with our foods. It's not talking about being on a diet. It's not talking about being deprived. Stay tuned, because I will be writing my next blog, which is going to discuss deprivation, idealization. And I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip the way we've done things on its head. And that actually was one of the profound lessons I learned from doing our 30-day detox deep dive in January, which taught me a multitude of lessons, which I'm now hopefully going to teach to you. Good. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Peace. Thanks, everybody. See you in the next video. Stay tuned. Okay.
All right.
Watch it and hit play.
Oh my God, don't say that.
That'd be so funny. Nope, it's going.